happening, y'all? If we do happen to be live, it is another day in paradise. I actually know we're not on at least one platform right now. So I'm just going to keep rambling. Dave, take it from here.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Whichever platform we are currently live, a fantastic Thursday afternoon to you, or morning or night, wherever it is, wherever you are in the world. What's going on? Thank you for joining in. We're here. We're here for the content. What is Content Strategy Workshop? We've been getting a lot of people. I've been noticing a lot of people that are new to the group who are just trying to figure out, like, where do I get started? Where do I begin? I want to start getting more clients. I want to start charging more. I want to start getting people on retainer. We're going to just get everybody up to speed from a common ground kind of point, because there's so many ways you can run with all this. We want to be able to kind of get you at least started with some common ground, because a lot of what we talk about here all stems from the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. So that's going to be what we're diving into. Ceebz, what do you got?
I think we got to kick things off with an awesome hashtag, Dave. You know all about awesome hashtags. Give me a hashtag marshmallow if you guys are in the building and you're tuning in live, mainly because I like seeing random DMs like 6 months down the road. I get taco all the time on Instagram right now. And I'm like, dude, one, I'm hungry, but two, when did I even say this? And where is this piece of content? So it makes it more fun for me. But yeah, guys, absolutely. Like what I've realized as I've stepped more into coaching and helping you guys figure out how to work with clients, what to pitch them, packages, all that stuff. It's helped me grow my production company a ton, because I realize so much of the sales process is kind of walking your clients through just content strategy as a whole and making sure that they understand, one, what it is, secondly, how it can help their business, and then third, like how you can help them get there. A lot of times you guys are saying, well, how do I prove results? How do I have the case study? How do I know exactly what a paid ad campaign is going to do or something like that? You'll notice once I start kind of going through my process, my presentation, I guess you would say, like I never am guaranteeing results. If anything, I say there's no chance I'm guaranteeing it, because I've been through a period of time in business where the entire world shut down and everything stops. So you want me to tell you, oh, I guarantee this one way or another? I can't. Like, things happen. Shit happens. What I can guarantee you is you're not going to find anyone else who's hungrier and wants to prove this to you, to find the long-term win-win and keep being able to build together. That's how I'm looking at this, is more as a partnership versus I'm trying to just collect from you monthly and get a new retainer in the door. So, if you guys have questions, definitely be sure to drop them as we're going. I'm going to pull up my slide deck here in a second. And if anyone else from the mastermind, I changed from a Zoom link to Riverside just to try to streamline our operations, because, you know, you guys know I'm a systems freak. If there ain't a system around it, like, what are we even doing, you know?
It's kind of the whole underlying theme of everything here, right?
All right, share screen. All right, y'all, let's jump into this. So first up, we have, what is content strategy and why the hell do you need it to scale online? Are we live with the recording? Cool. All right. So a lot of times when it comes to overall content, right? People get an idea. They want to make social media content. They want a video for their website, whatever it is. There's issues that they'll run into as they try to build their campaigns. The first is they don't know what to create. So they're like, yeah, we need video. They go clear a day to do video. And it's like, wait, what are we actually making? Where's it going? What's this actually going to be doing? Or they'll get in their head about it. So the second thing being, they don't know how to create that content. They don't know how to do it efficiently. As a creator, like, the thing we learn is shoot, edit, repeat. And you do that thousands and thousands and thousands of times to get good at what you're doing, right? So the first time someone starts trying to create content for their business, their brand, just start on social media, they run into all these bottlenecks. Once again, it leads to the confusion. It leads to them wasting time, getting in their own head, not posting, all of that. The third thing, and this is the biggest thing when it comes to actually investing in content strategy and content assets that are going to produce for you, is understanding how online traffic and funnels work. Dave, do you know what a funnel is?
I'm sorry, a what?
A funnel. We're not
I mean,
talking.
if we want to break it down very basically, it's like, I mean, anyone who's somewhat familiar with marketing at all has probably seen the upside down triangle, right? Where it's like
There you go.
you got a lot of people that you're trying to reach to get that general awareness that you exist. Then you're trying to get them, some of those people, down one step further to actually decide, like, is this something that might make sense for me? And then a smaller percentage of those people are going to actually end up becoming customers. But what we're trying to figure out here with content strategy is how do we actually move people down? Because again, if you've seen this at all anywhere, you've seen the funnel shape, right? But what nobody really dives into, or what everybody dives into in 1,000 different ways, is how do you take somebody from this step to the next step down to them becoming customers?
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, if someone out there doesn't happen to be a marketer and doesn't know this upside down triangle, I first learned about a funnel doing like beer bongs in college. Like probably not something we're supposed to be sharing, but hey, it funneled everything down to one spot. You know, the traffic came flying in. Next thing you know, sales were happening. This is how online traffic funnels work, right? So what we're doing is we're creating content around several different categories. One, just to like let people know we exist. The second, to generate interest, let them know more about what we do, make people want to work with us, ultimately trying to get them to take action. So we're going to talk about just different content and where it goes. But no, if you guys are working with clients, your job is to come in and understand what their funnel looks like. That is the sales process. That's why we ask questions and start to try to figure out what's happening. They might be amazing at, you know, closing deals down here with the warm traffic, right? They get people to take action, no problem, once they're interested, but they just don't have enough awareness. Guess what we got to do? We got to find ways to get them in front of more eyeballs, organic content campaigns, monthly retainers, or paid ad campaigns. So what do we create? Here's me with glasses on. They're actually just blue light glasses. It makes me look smarter, but sometimes I do stare at the computer like 18 hours a day. So guys, the core content assets are essentially, like, after working with hundreds of companies and running probably thousands of sales meetings, you realize almost every business is relatively the same when it comes to certain core content assets. When I say core content asset, I mean an asset that's going to produce long-term for you, years to come, not just something that's going to have a 24 or 48 hour lifespan on Instagram, you know? So we specialize in coming in to create core content for brands, core content assets for brands that basically just need these in place. The reason it makes sense is the investment it's like setting up a website, you know, for years to come. Like I always tell clients, my VBC for 5 years has just been bringing in new leads. Like people go watch that. I don't even want to watch it anymore because I look at it. I'm like, why am I wearing a button down collared shirt? Like this is nerd Ceebz. You know, this was me still like trying to play this business game before I got the confidence, because I understood this and I could walk into any room and it doesn't matter if I'm talking about beer bongs on a freaking live stream, because we can produce. Okay. And this is my goal for everyone out there watching. So the other thing just to mention, like, one, if someone's talking to you about getting video done, they know video is powerful. We don't need to sell them on the fact that like, oh, video will help like conversions and like, you know, it looks really good. And the bigger thing is showing people how within their system, once again, every company already has this customer journey in place. Okay. It's letting them know, look, if we had videos at this spot instead of your 10 salespeople, what would that look like? I don't know the answer to that. You have to tell me. So if we actually, you know, you told me sometimes it takes 2 to 3 months to get that final like deal closed once the prospect's super interested and they're really concerned about how long the process will take. What if we added process videos there and we just had a really simple, like, even though it's kind of complex because you're setting up living wills and trust for people, let's just make it, hey, we got a really simple 5-step process. You know, step 1, hit that button below. Step 2, get some info. Step 3, we help you with everything. Step 4, you got to trust. Step 5, dance party. Like that's how you guys can be helping clients. Okay. With content, we can take people who have no idea who we are. I'm sure there's people out there that either you're watching this for the first time or we've never met, or you only know me virtually, right? And maybe you've bought a program from me. That is the power of content. That is me taking the best form of myself, right? We can create these assets for our clients. We can put them online, put them in their funnel, put them on YouTube, right? YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world. The amount of companies that are still working on like a good website, let alone a YouTube right now, like this is where we can help. So for the core content assets, guys, not every company needs every one of these. However, this is what I would focus on if you're a business or brand, or you are selling your videography / content strategy services to clients. This is all we do. You'll see when I get to my rates towards the end, I'm not even figuring out exactly what we're doing for a client at this stage. I'm just saying, look, core content assets work across the board. You go to Amazon, you find the product you want. What do people do next? They look at reviews. That's testimonials and case studies, right? You have all these amazing products. Guess what? People don't want to go read a freaking blog post with 2,000 words because you're trying to rank for SEO. They want a 30 to 60 second quick breakdown with cool visuals and probably testimonials too. FAQ, once again, no one wants to call in to ask those simple questions, right? Let's get FAQ video set up. It's only going to help the time people spend on your website, which is only going to help your SEO, and it's going to improve the customer buying journey. It's a no-brainer. Video ads, once we get all this set up, right? It's like building the foundation for a skyscraper. You're not just going to like spend a year building this foundation to not build up, right? What we're doing with the core content assets and getting them in place is building your foundation. Next is just more traffic. We need to pump more people into the system and let them know your offer exists. So with that, we can either do video ads and run paid ads, or we can focus more on organic content and focus on that kind of machine. Either way, it's an investment. Okay. So the same deal with short form and reels. Once again, I know that's what your biggest focus is right now. However, the challenge is like, if we only do that, you're seeing 24 to 48 hours of those videos getting traction. They don't really have somewhere to go to learn more about it and watch bigger videos. So if instead, what if we did your VBC and customer testimonials, but then also turn those into reels? The way I see it, short format leads to long format, leads to conversions. So that's why we don't want to just talk about short form today. Like if we're coming out to do the shoot, you already have us there. You're paying for that time. Wouldn't it make sense to get a 30-minute interview with you about the business that we can just drop the other B-roll on? Boom. Now you went from $1,000 package to $5,000 with 2 questions and understanding the shit.
Ceebz, I want to add something real quick. For anybody that's watching this right now, I want you to think specifically of the like a big purchase that you've made in the last year, or maybe the last 5 years. Think about something that was like multiple thousands of dollars. It was a big consideration process. It may have been a camera, it may have been a lens, it may have been something for your house, it may have been just something that you wanted to get. I really want you to think about the specific process that you went through of figuring out that you actually wanted this thing and then starting to do your research, and then all of the different steps that you needed to go through before you actually clicked buy or agreed to purchasing the thing. It might have been some type of course or mastermind, even if you're here watching this. But I want you to really think about, like, what was that journey like for me, the customer, or me, the client, to go through and be ready to actually make this purchase. And if you've considered other options with whatever that purchase is that you veered away from because it didn't feel right, I also want you to think about why it didn't feel right, because that's going to directly correspond with all of these different core content assets here. There's an answer for everything. And that's my personal goal here. What I really harp on is, like, let's look at what each of those steps look like. And I just want to kind of plant that seed in your mind if you're watching this, so that it makes it a little bit more real for you, rather than just trying to imagine what it might be like for the customer of your customer.
Yes, 1,000%. Like all the time. I mean, just even when I go on like Insta, like I go in every funnel. Like I love clicking on ads and going to their landing page and see what they're doing and seeing how I'm getting retargeted and opting in. I got one email address is just spam. Like there's like 990,000 emails that are just spam. But it's because I love seeing kind of like what people are doing behind the scenes. If you guys are trying to do this for clients, you need to be going through it the same way. If you find something cool, bookmark it. You never know. Like, this is all I do is walk clients through other stuff I see. Hey, your competitor's doing this. Did you know it? No, we didn't. Thank you for pointing it out. How do we do that? Oh, I could help with that if that's something you're interested in talking more about. Right now, I have permission to go into a sales conversation. Okay. So a lot of times, just like we were saying, I don't remember what I was saying. So Dave, I'm sure it was good, right?
It's always good. It's always good. Let's see what we got coming up.
Yeah. And here we got a GearFlex picture in the Maldives. Like, come on, this is our marketing. Like, well, what do we do? Like, let's just lay everything out and like smile or something. And people are like, cool, they're in the Maldives. Great. Now we need to get in conversations though and break down why we were there and what we were doing. So a hotel, right? The same deal. We're not just coming in to create social media content. We want to create a brand video for the overall hotel. We want to talk about their sales or products. Could be, what's the food like at the restaurant? What are their spa services like? What are the amenities like? All of these could be different videos that you're mapping out for it. You could get customer testimonials with while they're there. You could have like process videos could be more about like the check-in process, right? Airbnbs, right? Someone has a huge Airbnb portfolio. What are you doing as far as check-ins? And like, I've stayed some unique places. They have like video libraries that they build out and stuff. So just think about it that way, guys. As far as assets go, the way you need to do that and work with your clients, it always comes down to setting up the strategy first. This is why when I go into to pitch our package, like, I'm more concerned if they're a good fit for what we do with creating content assets. And if they're in the right position, they're looking to scale, they're hungry for growth, they're already investing in marketing. I know basically I'm going in with a bigger package no matter what. The last package was 35 grand. I had a 15K package mapped out, but I didn't even present it because I'm like, I can't. Your goals, the size you're at, like what you're spending $1 million a year already. Like, dude, I can't quote you 15K when we're flying from Florida to Texas to do this. Like, let's spend the extra day and a half and we'll have another 3 to 4 months of content done. You know, once again, taking the time to build out the strategy before we just go in trying to push a package and close a deal. It's understanding their needs and asking questions. That was probably our third or fourth conversation as to what is even going on and where are you at. Then you can get into producing and creating the videos. And then the third step, this is the other thing people miss. You gotta freaking implement the videos. You gotta post them. You gotta put them on your website. As much as you're gonna be in your head about it and you think everyone's like, oh my God, I look terrible. And man, why is everyone else so good on video, but I suck? That is literally every single person. That is me. I didn't want to look at YouTube for months. And then I see one comment like, oh, I won't even say it. Fires me back up, right? So your guys' job as content savages is not to just like create a video, hand it to the client, and then they do nothing with it. And you're like, they hate me. Like, I'm just not good. No, they don't know what they're doing. So they get in their head when they're confused, then they don't post, which means you don't get the case study. You instead should go work with that client. The first videos I started before we started charging for implementation, which is just part of the package now. I just helped the client figure it out. Like, sometimes it was as simple as a YouTube link just embedded on their website. Sometimes it was way more complicated and I had to actually hire a developer to do it. So I learned if I'm doing implementation, I should probably be charging around 500. I just worked that into my offer. We're not just doing the video business card and 2 testimonials. We're also going to do the edit. We're going to handle the revision process. You're going to freaking love it. You're going to look like a rock star. I can't wait to show you it because we actually do a really cool reveal process as well. And then lastly, we're actually going to implement the content for you, not just implement it. We're going to do, I'm going to skip ahead here. Like, this is what we can show our clients we're doing. Like, we're setting the videos up. This is Wistia here. It lets us know, hey, if someone at 10 seconds has a sharp drop off on your viewership, what did you say? What visual did we show? How can we fix it so that people actually are watching the video you just invested all this money into, right? we noticed actually it was this one when we first posted this video on the client site, they only had about like I think a 14% engagement rate. And I was shocked. I was like, shit, like, does video work? I was like, it might be right. Like, it's just, how do we know? We started tracking, dude. And even little tweaks, just adding a headline under the video, like, watch our video business card today, jumped up to like 24%. And then we added one more tweak and variation, jumped up again. So that's little ways that we're actually helping you see long-term what we're actually doing. These are other forms of tracking that we can set up. This is called Hotjar. I usually just sign up for a 2 free-week trial, but if we're building funnels, it lets you see where traffic is going on the website. So if a client thinks their website's amazing, it actually sucks. They'll say, hey, can we just set this up for 2 weeks, see what people are doing? Then they see, like, you literally can see how the mouse moves through the page and how people scroll and all this stuff. So these are tools that are going to let your clients have more confidence with what you're doing. At the end of the day, an entrepreneur needs to make smart investment decisions. Their questions come from, how do we know it's going to work? These are the ways we know it works. We had a client where we did a VBC and a website build for them. The month later, super pumped, we finished the project. Month later, we get a call one day like, yo, what's up? Like, we're not getting any leads. We're like, wait, what? Like, when we originally spoke, you told us you don't need a website, you know, but it'd be good to have one just in case no one's looking you up. And then secondly, he brought up the fact, he's like, you told me a video business card would be selling for me 24/7, you know, even while I sleep. And I'm like, well, let's look at the data. Pulled this up, had 31 views. So he's like, 31 views. I'm like, he's like, 31 views. Yeah. Like, I'm like, did you talk to those 31 people? What if 31 of those people talk to 2 other people? How many people is that now? So like potentially 100 new people could know about this, or they could send it to one other person and you wouldn't have to do one thing and you don't see that value. He's like, oh shit, this is cool. You know, but 31 views, that was the result that he was like, oh my God, people are actually finding this. People are watching this without me sending it to people. A result for social media is just, hey, last month you averaged 100 views per reel. Let's try to hit 200 views per reel. Would you say that would be a win if you invested and you doubled your engagement and traffic? You know, would that be something that makes sense to you? Yes. Okay, let's move forward with a retainer. No, I don't see the value in that. Okay, I can't pitch you that. Right? If all you have is in your mind, I'm going to sell these social media reels to this client, and they're like, I don't see the value. And they're like, well, here's the deal. It's going to make you look cool, and video is powerful, and you know, you need to do it. Not going to work. Okay. Where was I before I got started? Yeah.
We got a couple questions in Facebook, and they're kind of tying into, I wanted to clarify. I was like, is this making sense for you so far? And Justin DeVito said, yes, but I think for me, I'm struggling with the confidence. I haven't done a ton of videos yet for clients besides aerial videos for realtors. We also got a comment from Peter, kind of similar, says, totally making sense. I'm mostly having problems with having the first discovery meeting scheduled though. So I think the theme here of what we're kind of maybe getting feedback on is getting, like, this is all awesome and it all kind of like makes sense. But I know for me, when I was first getting into it, I was like, I had the trouble with that conviction. Like, I hadn't seen it or experienced it yet. I'm like, okay, it works for other people. How the hell do I actually start like making this make sense for people and getting into the actual conversations and like talking about it the right way? And I want to just drop out there real quick to you guys that like there's difference between the confidence and the conviction. The confidence is kind of that bravado you give yourself, right? To like start talking about it and being like, yeah, hell yeah. Conviction is once you've actually experienced it and seen that it works. And the easiest way to do that, I mean, one way is just like go make the sales, but also there's a degree of practicing what we preach that really makes these sales a lot easier. Like anytime that I start consistently posting content, guess what happens? People hit me up about wanting to do content because they see that it works. Anytime that I've talked about a VBC in a sales meeting or a discovery call, I'll talk and be like, well, you saw mine, right? And we're here now. And there's this moment of like, shit, this works because we're here now. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick and also kind of throw the ball in your court, Ceebz, of like,
yeah,
it's been a while since you've started off with this. You've got this data now, but thinking back, like what was some of the stuff that kind of got you to be like, hell yeah, this shit works?
One, it was being in a community and seeing other people do it. Like me and you, dude, met 6 years ago now. We were in Zero to Warrior and like zero confidence. We would get together weekly to be like, shit, man, this is hard and clients suck. And what do we do? And we just recorded those and started posting content. Like, wow, that brought in people, right? Like there is an element of like, you have to push yourself to get into the next realm. Like as an entrepreneur, it's like, you get comfortable being uncomfortable. I know like that sucks when you're first starting. People are, oh, just enjoy the ride. And like, fuck you, give me money. So I don't need to like stress nonstop. But it comes from one, getting out there and doing it. Like I've just consistently been working to figure stuff out. Half the shit you guys see out there, the reason I have an audience on Insta is because I'm like, I need to figure it out before I can pitch it to clients, right? Next thing you know, leads are coming in. How do I know it works? Why are we here? Like, I haven't talked to you. You think we're best friends because of the content that I put out, and hundreds of other people are watching just in the same way, thinking the same thing. So it was doing the content. It was creating my VBC. It was surrounding myself with, this is why I'm so like pumped about everything that we're doing in the community that we're building, because without the other people in the group, without hiring coaches, without doing mindset work, without going to the gym, like these are all things that led to more confidence. Even now, bigger deals, bigger clients, bigger brands. Guess what happens? The little inner bitch voice comes out being like, hey, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't quote that. And then you look and you're like, no, dude, we've done it. We proved it all. How much more do we have to prove? You know? You guys need to think the same way, because you can consistently go and just be trying to prove. But what the fuck are we trying to prove, right? If you can create a piece of content, that's value. If you can help someone with an edit, that's value. If you can help someone build a full funnel and do it all for them, there's tremendous value, right? It's more about leveling up your skills over time so that when you do meet these people, like the business world is changing. It's no longer you work one role in one company and that's it. And it doesn't matter if it does, like people have 6 or 7 jobs now. This AI revolution is going to change like you see it happening. Companies are breaking down because they're too big. They can't pivot fast enough. Tech moves fast. This is why I stress retainers. Lock in your 3 to 5 clients, level up your skills, because the more, like I'm building an AI bot. I just bought Ceebz.com to make a spoof of a Kanye ad for Yeezy.com. Like these are things that I can just do in a day now, and I get an idea because like I've developed the skills, and because I've developed the skills, now I can oversee a team. Like we just left the team meeting with 5 people. We're rocking and rolling. Everyone's just stepping into new roles. The reason we're able to do that is we've done it. You know, I've worked that role. I can help guide them, and then they can even add more value to that. Building a team. How did that happen? Well, guess what? Networking, getting out there, messaging people on Instagram. Like all of these are little micro things. Like learning how to send a DM is a skill, you know, like outbound. Like I just emailed Rob Deerdeck. Like I found his email via my sneaky lead gen ways and personally emailed him. But I said, hey, Rob's assistant, I know he's not reading these. And if he is, I actually don't want to talk to him because his systems aren't as strong as I thought.
I want to pop in real quick because it's I think if I think back to when I first got into all this stuff, right? And like we said, like 6 years ago when we first met and we were like, what the hell do we do? I remember going to YouTube and typing in like how to run a video business or like how to make video sales. And it's a lot of the questions that I see popping up here that are like trying to tweak outreach methods. I remember that headspace of thinking, how the hell do I just get into these conversations with people? And if I could go back and do it all again, and this is speaking directly to like you, Peter, and Justin, and anybody else that's watching this either live or on the replay that is feeling this way. By the way, if you're here live, leave a hashtag live. Let us know. If you're catching the replay, leave a hashtag replay. It really comes down to what is the easiest way? What is the path of the least resistance to just get into talking to somebody? because I don't care where you live. There are business owners. There are people maybe qualified, maybe not qualified that are running their own business. And if you've barely been working with clients at all to begin with, like if you're at like moving to square one or square two, just get into these conversations, because that's going to give you that opportunity to actually talk about this shit outside of just in this group. Like having this community here is insanely valuable. I want you to know that. But it's insanely more valuable when you can go out into the world, practice what you preach, get the reps in of like talking about video to other people that don't care about it as much and trying to figure out how to make it make sense to them. And then you can come back here and report back and say, I did, 2 different networking events this week. I talked to a few different business owners and I got there. I followed up with them. I haven't heard anything back. One of them is interested. Like, what do I do? Because then all of a sudden you're like sending out, it's like radar or sonar. You're sending out signals and then you're getting actual like feedback back. So you know where the hell you are. If you don't put any of this into play, like that's a lot of what Ceebz is talking about. You got to just actually go and do it. And I understand there's this fear, right? Of like, what do I do first? How do I know which thing's going to make the most sense? How do I know which thing's going to work the most? Guess what? Nobody's got that answer for you. I don't care what anybody says or who markets to you online and says this is the one way. You're going to have to do shit and figure out which method makes the most sense for you, because there's people that do cold outreach and it works for them. There's people who just start off running paid ads and it happens to work for them. And there's people who do networking and it works for them. The easiest thing first, look at the low hanging fruit. Who are the people that you already know that you can go and hit up? Who are those people that you can just talk to that there's such low stakes, they want to help you. If you are just in the early phases and you're not like crushing it yet, you're still growing, it's never too late to make like a declaration statement and let people know, hey, everybody, just want to remind you, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm really looking forward to like working with people that do this. Who do you know that you can introduce me to? All of that shit is how you break that initial friction and start talking to people, because then it lets you start talking about content strategy. All of this shit here, if you can't talk about it to other people and start to make it make sense and figure that out, none of this means anything.
Dave, you want to know my secret?
Yeah.
Just pretend like I'm a dumbass consistently. Because when you are going, like, the easiest way to make friends with someone, stroke their ego. You know what the easiest way to stroke their ego is? Tell me about your business. Are you guys doing this? Like, I'm curious. Like, if you ask me about my shit, like, I'm going to want to go off. I'm going to want to tell you everything. The ways I actually outreach a lot and connect with people is rarely, hey, do you need content? I am looking for something that is completely non threatening, I guess. Like, I don't want their sales shield up. If you guys DM me and we've never talked on Insta and you say, hey, do you want to hire me to edit videos? Like, you're never going to get a response. Whereas someone hits me up and just said, oh, dude, that last vlog was sick. Are you doing those? Or you work like have an editing team? Oh, I work with an editing team. I'm not thinking this guy's here to sell me, right? Oh, I work with a team. Oh, that's amazing. Like, how did you find those people? Oh, well, like now I'm like, oh, sweet, I want to help this person, right? So by the third, now we're in a conversation. Well, dude, I just wanted to like let you know everything's fire, but I also do this on the side. If you ever have issues with them or whatever, like, you're a cool dude, I'd love to connect. I'm not really looking for work right now, but let me know. Now they're like, damn, this dude doesn't even care if he gets hired, right? He must be so busy on this other end that, so this is why I say, like, when we are working to like pre-frame clients, set your sales meeting 3 or 4 days out, right? Hey, I'm busy. My time is like in demand. Let's set something up when I can actually focus on this, right? Damn, why is he so busy? What's he got going on? Man, a lot of people must be working with him. Or another thing I would always do is, hey, super busy 3 or 4 days out, but here's 2 times, 1:15 or 3:35 to 4. Like, those are the weirdest time blocks ever. How insanely packed is your calendar? Right? So now they know just going into it. And then in the sales process, I'm talking about, We're only working with a handful of clients. Look, we don't know everything, but a lot of this is figuring it out. The tech moves fast. The trends change fast. Like most of the kids that people are trying to hire are they're kids. They know how to create. They know how to leverage the platform. They get a job. They level up their skills. Then guess what? They don't need to work for clients because now you can monetize online. So this is the problem when you try to hire videographers out there. And the same thing with ad buyers and the same thing with web people. Like you don't know who to hire anymore. And like agencies can't even bring on teams. So I'm down to help you figure that out. But I don't do X, Y, and Z. I'll hire someone. I'll help you find them. I'll help oversee it. I'm honestly curious because I know that would help my videos. I'll work with you to find someone on the website to make my video work better. What that does is that just gets more confidence with that client. It helps me be the one-stop shop for anything related to their online, to their content. Even if it's me just saying, yeah, go forward with that person for SEO. You know, we're not doing it. Let me know though, so we can get together and create videos that will partner together with what they're working on, you know? So that's a huge thing. The second thing is always like, I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I can be extroverted as hell. Other times I just want to lock myself in this cave, not see anyone, you know? Because of that, I always try to just put myself in places where connections could be made. So instead of working here where I don't want to see anyone, I'm just focused on building like trainings and stuff right now, going to a co-working office. So I would go to a co-working office almost every single day. I would go there at 8 a.m. I would stay until at least 3. That was my routine. To get in flow, you got to have certain hours where you're just at a desk. And even if you don't know what to do, you're going to find something to do. So when I didn't know what to do, I would just go hang out at the coffee bar, meet other people there. Oh, what are you working on? Oh, that's cool. Tell me more about your business. You know, now you're building connections and they would refer people to me. Guess what? Referrals are 7 times easier to close than cold traffic. So just knowing more people is going to bring in business. I've said it before, going to work at a bar down here, right? Like some of these nice restaurants on Las Olas, if I went and sat at the bar, pulled my laptop out, was running ads or pull my camera out, doing an edit. Oh, you do content? Yeah, we work with, businesses, brands to help them develop epic video marketing campaigns. Right? It can just get into that. I would put stickers on my laptop so that people would go to the site and I wouldn't even have to sell them. They could just watch my video business card. This is the ways that you guys can be doing the same, right? So get out there, go to a cycling meetup, go to your local brewing club, go to a freaking, I just saw there's like, I don't know what it's called, but they ride fake horses in Europe. And they like do horse shows on like.
I've seen that.
I've seen extreme canoe challenges. Like if that's you, by all means, go freaking be an extreme canoer. Like, let's go. Because you're going to meet people. Meeting people, it's like we need community now. Like people only want to work with people they know, like, and trust. The world's freaking psycho out there. You go on the news, it's like, oh my God, like we're going to blow up tomorrow. Like block that shit out. At one point, I just unfollowed every negative news source. Those two. Don't do that either. That's just a major distraction. I know what you guys are thinking. Block them all. But so I unfollowed every news thing, like even the environmental stuff that I followed. Like it was always just negative. And I followed like 30 golden retriever pages and positive like global news movement pages where it's like, so-and-so hasn't seen their high school sweetheart in 72 years. Watch their reaction. It's like some 95-year-old just like so happy. We're like, man, I'm happy now. That's the kind of stuff that like just kept my mindset strong. So even as I went through the day, like I had an abundance mindset versus like, man, everything sucks. Like all these people are complaining because they're cutting rates and no one can get paid. And now they want you to learn Premiere and After Effects and you got to learn how to shoot, edit, and do Lightroom. And it's like, yeah, fucking get with it. This is the way the world is going. If you don't want to move in that direction, stop complaining that you're not going to get the rates. Because the people that are willing to move in that direction, the people that are willing to keep putting in some work, all I have done, I'm not a fucking genius. I just work. And I know how to focus when I need to. If you guys do follow me on social, you'll see there's times where it's just like, I am nowhere near this computer and I'm completely unplugged now. Like I've been trying to do actually 3-day weekends, like once a month, just because the training stuff I'm doing gets really intense. Like sometimes it's just like in a flow for 18 hours. But then I get my rest and I think about everything I need to do. So by the time I come back Monday, I'm ready to execute and just get out there and make stuff happen. Chris, talk to me. I want to know if you got any questions, dude. What are you getting from this?
Chris is muted. Oh no.
We got to come up with like a mute shaming for live streams. Like,
boo, shame. Can you unmute him, Ceebz?
You should be good. You're not muted.
Yeah, it looks like the mute's gone. Maybe the input. Oh man,
it's cool.
Hell yeah.
Just disappoint the world, Chris. Just.
I wanna kind of mention, because we had Ben's on Facebook going boo. He said it's those damn AirPods. I had some comments back and forth with Peter talking just about like keeping the friction low and not going for too big of an ask right away. Like I do want to kind of loop it back to the actual like content strategy stuff.
Yeah.
But super quick as a rule of thumb, like oh.
Can you hear? Oh, sorry, it gets all loud all of a sudden.
Oh, Mr. No Headphones. Can you hear us?
Did it work? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it worked.
Now I can't hear you guys. Dude,
no.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dave. Hold on.
No, you're good.
Okay.
The super real quick rule of thumb is basically don't try and like, if you meet someone at the networking event, don't pitch them the freaking thing right away. Go like, hey, let's get into a meeting or let's have a conversation. Because if you try and jump too many steps at once, again, think about your own customer journey. Would you buy from like a PDF that someone sent you after meeting you once? Probably not. Chris, what's up, dude?
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My speakers decided to switch on me too, dude. All right, so I just want to say like one thing quick. I'm not as far along as you guys are. I have figured some things out, and y'all were talking about where it is. I can tap into that beginning real easy for you. And something for me, y'all hit on it, but I have to reiterate the like keeping it simple, stupid. Something as simple as like, what can I do this week? Maybe it's even like I've closed 35K deals, but maybe right now I need to bring up some cash and I post on social media like, hey, I'm doing VBCs. Normally we charge 5K. And you don't even have to say like, look, I'm broke. I need some money. You could just say, we've been blessed. We've been helping a lot of people this year and we just want to give back. We want to, throw out $2,500 VBCs. You book 4 of those, that's 10K in your pocket. But for me, the reason why I'm saying this is because just doing a VBC is simple. I can knock out an interview. I'm really good at them. The B-roll, it's like half a day, $2,500 in your pocket. So like, I can't stress enough that what you guys are saying is like 100% when you're overwhelmed with all this, because the deck that Ceebz has put together, your SOPs are like, literally, I've seen nothing like them. They're so good, but it is easy to get overwhelmed and be like, wow, this is a lot of stuff.
It's overwhelming. There's a lot to this, guys. Think about a client. If you guys are overwhelmed at your profession, what do you think the client's going to feel in a sales meeting? If you're overwhelmed in this presentation, you're focusing your energy in the wrong spot, in my opinion, because you don't understand this and you're trying to convince someone that obviously there's no confidence. How do you get that confidence? Build it yourself. Set up an ad campaign. Run fucking social media videos. Get out of your own way. Ask clients to do it. But you're afraid to put for real. You're telling clients,
Chris, can you mute?
But you don't want to post yourself. So if that's you and you're watching this saying like, oh man, I'm not doing any things I'm trying to sell to my clients, you need to step into it. You need to become savage. Like that's why this brand exists. We're not here to just sit back and watch fucking trainings. We're here to make moves. Like to do the shit that we've been doing. Like I was just with the team downstairs. We were laughing because they're like, dude, I just got together with my friends and they're watching like we are legends. Like they're trapped in an office and they're just like, he's like, oh dude, but like we were in New Orleans, like what we were working while we were fishing. You know, I'm like, listen to yourself, bro. You cannot complain to someone that you had a hard day at work on a boat in New Orleans fishing. I'm sorry. Like when someone else is trapped at the same cubicle 12 hours a day for 20 years of their life. That's the reality of that world. I've been in there. I've done that stuff at the dealership. I've done it that corporate. Like, I know so many of y'all are just creative people, right? We're creatives at our soul. We want to create. We want to do fun stuff. From the business side, we need to do the same thing over and over again. If all you did was sell VBCs for the next 15 years, I promise you, you will be a millionaire. Why? Because people are still getting websites done. When did the internet come out? People are still setting up social media profiles for the first time. When did social media start? A lot of other creators are going to quit because they don't want to do the boring work, as I call it. I've done the boring work for you. Literally, you can see my brain on paper with some of this stuff. Okay. You need to step though into that fact that like, you don't need paid ads, guys. You don't need it. If you're doing video content, all you need to do is video content. You need to get good at video content. You need to help your clients implement video content. Where are you not serving them? Do it for one or two of them. Great. Okay, I put in a little bit more work and I didn't get paid for it. Boo-hoo. Charge the next client appropriately because now you know what you're doing. My first retainer charged $1,000. I paid people $900 every month to get the retainer done. I'm pissed 3-4 months in being like, I made $400 in the last 4 months on all of this. I can't be pissed at the client. I can't be pissed at the guys. It's me. It's my responsibility at the top of our operating system. It's leadership. So you guys need to be investing energy. If you're struggling with confidence, you don't need to learn the next business tool, hack, tactic. You need to wake up early. You need to learn mindfulness. You need to learn journaling. You need to go to the gym. You need to eat healthy, whatever it is that's going to make your mindset stronger and make you more confident. If you're struggling with sales, spend the next month going to 3 or 4 networking events every single week. Get out of your own way with it. And guess what? It's like riding a bike. It's once you did it, you done it. You can walk into any room now and learn how to have a conversation with anyone because you're not going in to pitch yourself. You're asking questions to understand who this person is that you're talking to before you even tell them about what you do.
Yeah,
I think friends and influence people if you struggle with that.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the power of having this community. And again, the power of a community is like accountability and insight and being able to come to the table with something that you've done. It's like, you know, think of it like a tribe almost. It's like, what did you do today out in the wilderness that you can come back and report about and then share that experience? So again, like, do this stuff because we're talking about content strategy here. Whatever it is that you can do, whether that's right now or if you're at where if it's just talking about it to people and making it make sense, that could be your family, your loved ones, whatever it is for right now. Try and make it make sense. If you're already doing it, go to a few more sales or try and book a few more sales calls this week or go to a few more networking events. And if you're real deep in it already and you're like running campaigns for people, make some tweaks and then come back and report on where you're at. That's kind of the beauty of the community is do the shit and then come back and talk about it. But I want to sort of steer back.
Can I add one thing real quick? Yeah, because I don't like you guys, if you're here on this live stream, like you're showing up, you're doing everything you need to be doing, right? So you're getting the brunt of the message probably for some people that shouldn't, you know, like I get side messages. I know who asked the same questions over and over again for years. Like that's where my, like Gary Vee says you got to work 20 hours a day. In his side interviews, he's like, you don't need to work 20 hours a day. But unless I said that, people don't realize you need to work. You know, it takes hard work. Okay. That's what I'm trying to drill into you guys because I had to do the same thing. Like the evolution of Ceebz, if you will, like from this like content chump to a content savage, pretty remarkable. You know, used to just be the same way in a sales conversation at a networking event. Didn't know what I was like doing. Then you realize you look around the networking event and you see others that are like even worse off than you. And you're like, dude, let me go talk to that person because like one, I need someone to talk to, but now you're helping that person feel. Am I frozen?
Yeah,
my camera died? Gosh. Yo, one day we're gonna get live streams down, man.
One day, Ceebz is going to get
One
a
day,
DC power adapter
one
for his
Oh,
camera.
now I can't even switch camera. I can't turn off the camera while you're recording, but you can switch. Okay. So I don't know, Dave. Talk about something.
Now I don't feel
Okay.
bad. I gotta say that. Now I don't feel bad about my thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's the same deal. Like, look at me. I can't even be live on my own live stream right now, and you guys are all looking up to me like, "Oh man, how'd he figure this out?"
We got,
like, this is what I'm getting at, y'all.
We got a comment from Frank, and Frank, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here, because Frank left like his inaugural post in the group the other day, like, hell yeah, I'm ready to get it going. Frank said, I've got part of the picture going. I just need to get it to the next level. And Frank, I want to kind of like get a little bit more from you on that, because I feel that's kind of what you said last time. You're like, I got it going. Like, I just kind of like need to keep leveling things up. Give us some details in the comments about kind of what that means, like what you're currently doing, where you're at, where you're trying to, what does the next level actually look like for you? And then I want to kind of take it back a little bit here, because we've got you guys here for talking about what is content strategy. And we've talked a lot about that, but we've also kind of talked about like the headspace to be in to actually start making it work, which is super important. And the reason we bring that up is because we want you to understand that, like, we can tell you about this shit all you want, and you can get little dopamine hits, but unless you actually kind of hit the ground running with it, you know, it's not going to make much of an impact. Frank says, I'm only charging 500 to 700 for a VBC. We're going to come back to that because there's simple ways to kind of start jumping higher with that. I always recommend, like, you could be doing this for a minimum 2,500. I'm in Utah, very frugal people. I will say, no matter where you are, almost no matter where you are, unless you're in like a remote Alaskan village, there's always, within a diameter of where you are, there's always business owners and people who are willing to pay for something if they see the value in it. Like, I've been in groups and communities for 6 years now where people say, like, we'll have two people from the same area or the same general area, and they'll go like, yeah, people around here are just cheap. They don't want to spend money. And then the other person's like, yeah, I've had my best year yet. I'm just sold like $10,000 deal for a single video. So it's the people you're having the conversations with. And that ties into all of this, because some people just want a video, right? They just want a video. And that's the problem, is a lot of people just talk about it as a video. I can make this for you. It's going to look awesome. But then there's content strategy, and there's people who hear that because it ties into how they're doing business. If you can look at someone's existing sales process, how they're currently marketing and what that looks like, that's the trick here. Is it's, if you want to be able to, you know, level up, it's not just having those skills for video. It's like Ceebz has been saying here. It's and this, Frank, this isn't just you, it's to everybody else. I don't want you to feel like I'm just coming down on you here. But it's not just those video production skills. And anyone here on the screen right now will tell you that too. It's those other adjacent skills, the people skills, the sales, the marketing, having that understanding to ask the right questions. So much of this is just asking the right questions to a business, because if you can figure out, hey, what does success look like to you? If we're talking 12 months from now and we're celebrating, we're popping champagne, what needs to have happened here for you to consider this a success? Or it might be, how are you currently booking sales calls? How are you currently like getting new customers? Describe that to me. And then you can look at that and extrapolate it and figure out, the way that I do this is I look at all the key points. What are these different touch points they have where somebody who's not yet a customer might fall off, or they might lose interest, or they might no show? Those are all the opportunities for videos. Those core assets that Ceebz had up on the screen earlier, that's where those correspond to. You know, I keep it, honestly, for my own stuff, like, even simpler. There's really just 4 things that you need to think about when you're talking about video strategy or content strategy. And it really comes down to this. It's awareness or attention. I don't even call it awareness. I call it attention, attraction, trust, and clarity. If you have those 4 things and you can put videos into place that help build those things, that's going to be super valuable to people. Because think about it. Again, think about the biggest thing that you bought in the past year or two. If you spent a lot of money on it, first you had to actually know that it exists. You had to know that this company or this product exists. You had to get your attention, right? That's like social, that's organic stuff, that's ads. It gets your attention. You weren't looking for it, but boom, all of a sudden it's there. Then it's got to attract you. There's got to be something about it that's like, shit, those features or that thing that's going to do for me is sick. Those are like VBCs, other types of videos that are like a product video that highlights specific stuff. Then you want to do your research. You're going to Amazon, you're looking at reviews and trust, right? You're watching video testimonials, case studies. That's the trust. And then before you actually will go, yeah, I'm going to pay you a shit ton of money for this, you want clarity on how that's going to happen. What are the next steps? What's the process like? Especially if you're buying something like a mastermind or a course or mentorship, you want to know, like, how's this going to work for me? Those are like process videos, explainers, FAQs. So it's really just those categories. That's how you can really look through it to anybody you're talking to, very simply, to say like, oh, okay, so you're not sure of what's going on. It's a trust issue. Or, oh, you have people like not showing up to meetings and falling off. Okay, you might have a clarity issue because you never sent them like, here's what's going to happen next. So it's really just being able to ask the right questions. What the hell's going on in your business? And then prescribing a solution that meets them there and knowing what that is. So it's not like, here's the type of video we're going to do and all that. It's just even deeper than that. What are you struggling with? And then going, oh, okay, I think it's not what if you had a video that did this. It's what if you had a way to make sure that people understood like what it is that you actually do? What if you had a way to like make sure that people actually believed it? And then knowing the videos. Frank, it is attention, attraction, trust, and clarity. ATC. Nick says, how do you find out what a company is doing in sales to narrow it down to the $500,000 to $1 million approach businesses to approach? Ceebz, I'll racket this one to you. Oh, can't hear you. Did you switch your audio input too? We're working out the kinks for Riverside, guys. Oh.
This
Heyo.
So
There we go.
Video on one, audio on the other.
We got you.
Right. And I'm hearing myself, so I got to turn this off. What was the question?
Nick Stecky says, how do you find out what a company is doing in sales to narrow it down to the $500,000 to $1 million businesses to approach?
How'd you guys do last year? Cool. What are you trying to do next year? So like it comes up more organically because there's this weird thing where it's like, I know it would feel weird to be like, hey, how much money did you make last month? How much money do you want to make next month? Right? Like that's not the right way to do it. It's more, hey, thanks so much for taking the time to sit with me and kind of run through your business. The way this meeting is going to work is I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions, basically to learn more about your business. And then if something makes sense and I think we can, find out ways to work together, we can present it at the end, go through the package, talk about how it all works, all of that. Does all that sound good? Cool. Let's get started. So what you're doing there is you're just agreeing to an agenda. What that does is it puts you in the power position to where you're asking the questions now throughout the entire conversation. Okay. So if you go into the conversation, the client's like, well, what are your rates? We just want to know your rates and how do we know it's going to work? And show me your past work. And this is where you guys get caught up in like you're trying to prove something to them. The clients need to prove it to you. Your job is to go in and ask questions to see if they are a good fit. Okay. So I know some of these questions might seem weird or basic or intrusive, but I promise you, I have a process for a reason. Okay. And then okay, great. So what's the main product or offer right now? We sell tractors. Great. Like how many tractors are you moving like monthly, just to give me an idea? Well, I don't think that's important. What, like for general purposes, when we talk about building campaigns, and you want to scale and you say, I want to double or triple. I don't know if that means 10 more tractors or 100,000 more tractors. So for generally speaking, you know, if you don't want to give me specifics, that's great, but could you give me an idea? Okay, cool. Like, so I'll just dive into questions, but when someone gets into answering questions, they're expecting more questions. Okay, so tell me about the business. Cool. How does that work? Where do most of your customers come from? What does the sales process look like? How many salespeople do you have? How many, like, based on the amount of salespeople you have, what kind of capacity could you fulfill on? Like, are they crushing it? Are they at 50%? Like, do they need more leads? What's going on in that world? Okay, and what is your overall goal over the next, like, let's say year 2 or 3? We want to triple the business, you know? Sweet. What does that look like? What did you do last year? 1 million. So you're trying to hit 2 this year. Like, that's how, if you watch the Earn the Deal conversation I put out, that's exactly how it comes up. Where it's like, yeah, we want to double. We did this. I'm like, well, what did you do last year? We did about 1 million. You know, cool. So you want to grow. And then he's like, we don't even know what to invest in marketing. I'm like, well, here's a general guideline. 10% of your budget is kind of what, like, the Small Business Administration will recommend. So you guys did 1 million, you know, be like up to 100 grand. I'm not here to ask for 100 grand. I don't think you guys need that. You did 1 million without any marketing. That would be insane. Boom, trust. I could come in here for something more, but I'm not even thinking that way, dude. Like, let's just start with something. You guys really just need your brand set up. You just need an anchor package. You need 3 videos, you need some reels, you need some photos. What kind of results can we expect? Absolutely nothing unless you do put them to work. The results you can expect is that someone sees it. It's more so the 1 or 2 times a year you guys go bid on a project and someone else bids on it. And that person, when all they care about is numbers and you're similar, what's the thing that's going to push someone over that finish line? This person has a good looking website. I know who they are. They're going to be coming into our residential home. I trust them. This person doesn't even have a website. That's where I just want to make sure we're on the same page with that. No, dude, totally. We understand that. Okay. If we weren't, I can't even offer you this package because you think it's just going to make leads fly in the door. That's not the case. Like, so we pre-framed it all that way. We realized his expectations were in line with what our expectations were. I was like, sweet, we'll do the 3 videos, 6 reels, 10 photos, 15 grand. Deal call.
Yeah.
No, actually, we dropped $1,000 and took off something I added because I mean, you always have to take something off. Like, people want a deal. It's the name of the game. Same thing with the 35K. Hey, could we do it at 30? Yeah, if you want, we'll just knock off a couple deliverables. Week later, hey, I don't know why I said that. Let's just do it at 35. People just want a deal. People want to feel like they're getting something and they're not being sold. They're not being taken advantage of. I sold cars. I know the game. It's our world. You know how many of my friends come to me saying like, oh no, like this guy Joe, like hooked me up, we got a great deal. I'm like, damn, he's a good salesperson. Like, you walked out of there thinking he actually hooked you up. Like, yes, there's times where you're getting better deals, but the dudes that I knew that brought their friends in, those were the ones they ripped off because they trusted them. That's why I hated that world, man. Like, dude, scumbags in that industry. But
Ceebz, we got a follow-up question. That's right. There's a difference between like selling for high value and being a scumbag, guys. We got a question from Nick. He says, thank you. That makes sense. But how would I select the business to get a meeting with to begin with? Just a hunch that they might be in that league. I see a nice office off the freeway. There's tools for this. Again, it's kind of like that. There's levels. I want to make you guys understand too. Everything that we're saying here, there's like level 1 through 5 of it. And like a lot of this is like level 1 and 2. But almost any problem or thing that we're talking about, there is like a level 4 and 5 of it that's like way deeper than would make sense to go into detail on this like general what is content strategy. But there's tools for it. Ceebz, do you want to kind of like just real quick talk on that?
Call me. All right. So I gotta turn my volume back down. Hold on. If I were to move to a brand new city where I knew absolutely no one and had to go out and make friends, what would I do? And like, how would I get in front of businesses? I would be going to real estate investor meetups. I would be going to I'd go on meetup.com and I would just go to different meetups that looked interesting and I could meet people. Like, I would probably go on a dating app and go on lots of dates because I'm single right now. I would work out of, I would find like the downtown area and find the nicer bars, restaurants, or hotels and go to those places and work from the middle of the day, knowing lots of business people would frequent those and they have nothing to do at night other than hang out at the hotel bar. I met someone from like Williams F1 Racing a couple of weeks ago, just hanging out at a wedding. You know, the deal we just did for 35K. I met that guy on a boat, like flying a drone for someone else. I just volunteered. Hey, dude, I'll fly the drone, give you some content. I know you're going to put it out there. Maybe those people that you know see it. So I'm always with Content Savage. I'm not looking to scale this through paid ads and emails and like, why do you think I'm just dropping live streams all over the place and just trying to get content out there? Because it's more about the info getting out there versus like me trying to craft like this perfect system. By me just putting out like the Yeti reel brought in that 35K deal from someone I met 3 years ago, and I flew my drone for free for someone else just because he was a homie. And I was like, dude, I'll go on the boat and pass out pizza one day. Weird friends, you know. But that's how it came about. I had no idea what this guy even did. Throughout the first, honestly, couple conversations, I thought it was someone else too. I thought it was a completely different person I met. And I'm like, yeah, dude, we met through so-and-so. And he's like, no, bro, this guy. And I'm like, he was not even in the same circle. Oh, man. So it's getting out there. It's being visible. It's half the shit I post on Instagram is just to entertain and get people to be like, what's going to happen next when I click on that story? All I did to market the business as we did shoots, I was just yell quiet on the set while we were on set instead of trying to be like, hey, this is why you need video in your business. Like, look at this 3-camera setup, and we got a 3-pixel lighting here, and we're shooting S-Log. So, like, no one cares about that. Clients don't care about that. They care about working with someone fun, knowing that others are utilizing your services, and feeling like they're going to get value at the end of the day. So, to get into those rooms, it's more about, like, how do you connect with the person who can connect with the person? How does everyone you meet, you just show up to help? What if every single person you approached for the next month, you showed up without wanting a deal from them? You removed that from your brain and you just said, look, I'm going to work through this. I just want to help you kind of figure out what you could be doing. I can't say I can or cannot help you, but I would like to practice actually to kind of just explain content strategy and like, you know, really show you within your own business. I brought the whiteboard. I'm getting a weird glance because it's like, if you guys can't break down numbers and as far as 3rd grade math goes, where's my phone? Oh, record it. It's like, how much traffic do you get? Let's say you get 100 visitors and 1% of those convert into a lead, right? What is that? One person. So then you have a 20% close rate. You only close 0.2 people. I don't think by getting those videos on your site, when only 100 people a month come through, let's say we got it to 5%. Okay, 5 leads come through, we close 1 deal. Do you see the value in that? That's a you question, not me. You know, whereas a bigger company that has 10,000 visitors, right? Already now 1% if they're converting, 10,000 times 1 would be what, 1,000? No, 100. That'd be 100. So then 100 times 20 would be 20 deals. Instead of, and then if we bumped it to 5, it would be 500. So it'd be 20 versus 100 deals. If you guys got lost on that, I did too. So don't worry. But the core point being, I've done it so many times that like I can do it in a present, like, hey, client, hold on, let's just take a step back. Like, I'm not a mathematician. If anything, I suck at school. This is why I make videos, because like I like being creative and whatever. We just happen to step into a time where business videos are just taking off. So let's just break it down real quick. You got 10,000 people times 0.01, 1% of traffic, right? Those would be your leads, 100 leads. And then times 0.2, 100 turns into 20 deals. Now we bump it. Let's say we can get it to 2%. Now we got 200 leads. And let's just say because we have the videos, your sales percentage goes to 30%. right? So 200 leads, 30%. Now you're at 60 deals instead of 20. You tripled your deals by putting videos into your funnel. Do you find that worth it? It's up to you. Like, I'll crush it for you, but I need to know you see the value in that. If you're with me, raise your hand.
I was gonna say, how you guys feeling? If you're here in the chat, if you're here in the Facebook stream right now, let us know what's sticking out. If there's something we haven't touched on yet that's like you're just sitting with and you're like, I wonder if they're gonna talk about this, leave a comment, let us know. And also if there's something that's been sticking out to you that's really resonating, that you're like taking notes and writing it down, let us know that too. This shit keeps getting better if we know what's actually sticking for you guys, or what you need to know, what you're looking to hear about. So give us some input in the chat there. Let us know. We did just get a comment from Nick. Said, weird friends are the best. And thank you for the detailed response. Create lifelong relationships, having conversation rather than trying to sell. Love the training material. So thank you. Hell yes.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like, have those conversations, make friends. Like, people, once again, want to work with friends, want to refer friends. Like, even just understand the difference between like a CEO versus a marketing director. What does a marketing director want? To not look bad at their job. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't I teach you how this shit works so you can take it to your boss and be seen as the rock star? If it works out, awesome. If not, at least we try, whatever. I've done that with people I meet at the co-working spot. Or, hey, I know you're doing websites, you're working with clients. Let me do this. Why don't we, if you have someone interested, I don't want you to sell it because this stuff goes deep. I can probably do it way better. Let's set up a call together. That way you'll learn how I do it. And over time, maybe we can get some more deals coming in through that way. And I'll send you people for websites. Like, look at relationship building as a long-term, like you guys, if you're here and we're trying to do this, we're trying to build a life of freedom and entrepreneurship, right? Like, your network is your network. Knowing one person that I met at a conference and followed up with made me 30 grand earlier this year. All I did was refer them to someone else and they connected and made a big deal. And they're like, oh, here you go, Ceebz. Like, shit, all I got to do is talk to people and I connect people. Why am I building SOPs for you?
Yeah,
it's because I love it.
You're always like one connection away from somebody who knows everybody else. That's the thing, is like, don't look at it as like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna like make my portfolio so much better and everything like that. Like, that's one part to it. Like, obviously you want the experience and everything like that, but think about like, who can I meet that's going to just all of a sudden know so many more people? Like, when you're kind of diving into this, I feel like your target of who you want to work with, like what your ideal is, always is shifting. But if you have a general idea, like, I would love to work with this person, reverse engineer it. How many chain links until you're there? Like, where is that person probably networking? And then, I used to straight up, like, back when I was working with bands and like managing bands and stuff like that, I was trying to get like record label contacts and like publicists and stuff like that. I would just go to like somebody I was friends with who I knew was involved in that stuff. I'd look at their friends list and see who they were connected with, and I would just start adding people. I would just add people, and then all of a sudden this effect happens where you've added, like, all of a sudden now the person that you really wanted to connect with, you had like one mutual friend. All these other people accept. All of a sudden there's like 40 mutual friends, and they're like, oh yeah, that's probably somebody that I know. And you're just one step closer. So that if you have a conversation, it's easier. Or better yet, here's like organic content, the real benefit, just like practicing what we preach. It does only so much if you don't add new people into your network. If you're posting about stuff, then you're adding new people into that are like possibly one step closer where you want to be. All of a sudden they're seeing that shit. Like, Ceebz met this dude 3 years ago, connected, brought him into his world, and now Ceebz is posting more stuff. Eventually, the chances that one of these things is going to spark after seeing so many of them, and this guy's going to reach back out. If he never connected with him in the first place, brought him into his world, that never would have happened. If he never would have posted out all this content, it never would have happened. So it's just like covering your bases and making sure that you're just like being aware, because people never think about us as much as we think about ourselves. We have to give them that reason.
1,000%, dude. And like, you just keep in mind, like I said it before, we're playing the long game. Something my dad has been an entrepreneur forever, has an underground utilities company. And something he always told me as I was starting, he's like, it takes 5 years to get your business set up. And I'm like, nah, I'm learning from this guy online. 30 days, I'll be a millionaire. That's marketing, guys. Like, you know what's crazy? The looms I drop in the starter kit now, you can hit the like remove filler words. And not only does it remove all my ums and ahs where I sound not that smart, but it like AIs my mouth to not move too. Like, the world we live in is fake. I'm here to be real with you guys. I'm literally doing breakdowns of how I'm going to scale this to 7 figures, Content Savage. Like, I don't give a fuck because you guys need to learn it. And I'd rather teach you how I'm like building a funnel and selling so you can do it with your clients. The reason I want to do starter kits is I see that's a really easy way to take these people that are trying to build coaching programs, get fast wins, because the other way it takes you a year and then people fizzle out and it doesn't work, right? So like all these things in my mind, I'm only looking at everyone saying you can't like build masterminds this way now, or low ticket doesn't work, or high ticket doesn't work, or Facebook ads are dead, or whatever it is. I'm here to prove them all wrong because that's what the Savage Nation does. So I think we can win the Hormozi Challenge, figure out ways to make boatloads of cash, which are only going to help build infrastructure for this company. And like the shit we're planning, dude, I'm like, Dave knows what's going on. Dave gets all my ideas.
Oh yeah. On rapid fire. It's like sometimes it's like a not a garden hose, a fire hose. And it's like,
it's a funnel,
dangerous.
Dude.
It's dangerous for me because I get stoked and I get ideas and I'm like, okay, I have to be the one to try and
Dave is my funnel. Dave is my funnel.
It's a dangerous game we're playing here.
Yeah. All right. I got 2 things. I got to bounce here. I only got a couple more minutes. First off, if you guys found value in this and you want to show up weekly to do this with me and Dave and want me to keep just breaking down content strategy, I'm happy to do that. Give me an all caps yes in the comments so that I can see that. And like this slide deck took probably 2 years to dial in. So if you guys are lost, like I'm always lost. So don't follow me, follow Dave, but keep showing up on Thursdays at 2 because we'll get you more dialed in and Dave's going to help us all be found. Secondly, for those of you who would like to be early adapters to the Facebook ads starter kit, comment Savage, #Savage in the comments. I will send you a DM with the starter kit. I'm looking for early adapters. I don't want anything from you. If you find value in it and you think it's good, I would like a testimonial at some point. If not, I would like you to tell me, hey, here's what I don't get or where I'm lost, or here's why I think you suck, Ceebz. Without it, I can't do anything. I'm just someone here trying to figure everything out on my own. And just like you guys should not be doing that as you're building your business. Like you got to get out, have conversation, movement. And like I travel because I get energy. And all of a sudden I'm posting when I'm here for 4 days. I'm like, dude, no one wants to see this screen again. Like how many times can I post a live stream? Like come to find out, nobody even knows I do live streams. Guess what? Who's in their own head? Me. People are like, dude, you have online coaching? I thought you just like only did in-person workshops. Yeah, 3 years later, people are starting to see.
Yep.
It's the same thing with you guys. Like we get in our own heads. We think we're like bombarding people with and we're being so outlandish. Like this is our life. This is our business. This is our freedom. This is how we can. Like, this is why I love business, dude. I'm not the guy who's going to be told what to do and come at 9 and leave at 5 and you got 15 minutes here and there and dress this way and you can't have a beard. And no, I'm like, no, that ain't it. And there's ways with all like the SOPs I have in place would probably be $100,000 franchise program if we were going the corporate route. That's like what we have is the business in a box. So keep showing up with me and Dave. For those of you that drop Savage, I'm going to DM you the paid Facebook ad starter kit. If you found this challenging, you're probably going to find that even more challenging. The core point is start, go. go through the stuff, walk through the trainings, get lost, go on Google, learn how to search and find info, because the trainings are not, here's every little step of what you need to do. I cannot teach you that stuff with Facebook ads. It's just way too complicated. I am teaching you guys the framework and the basis of like A/B testing, setting up campaigns, figuring out your targeting so that you can actually go in with some form of confidence. I'm teaching you how to pre-frame it to your clients. I'm going to be adding, we do like a social booster bundle, we call it. So we'll charge like $1,000 where we put 500 into ads, 500 for us. What do they get? They get views. What do those views get them? Views. That's it. You just get views on your YouTube video. So instead of 13 views, you have like 500 or 1,000. Doesn't that make sense? Since you're such a big company and like YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world, competitors are crushing it. Or is that crazy?
I think it makes sense.
Right? And like, if you guys really want to learn this, get better at sales, go watch this recording again. Anytime I say something that you're like, damn, that was good, write it out. And just have, how do you think I started in coaching so fast? I have notes, like, who was asking? I think it was Ray. Ray, you out there? I haven't really looked at the comments. Hold on, let me show you guys. Let me show you the level of freakiness. Screen, entire screen,
chaos, isn't it?
window, notes. Check this out. This is Video Warrior stuff, dude. This was even from that BBC.
Oh, yeah.
Prospecting. Hey, here's all prospecting messages I picked up from like how to sell. Here's discovery form. Here's literally, dude, just typed out just based on objection. What do you offer? Well, we offer lots of stuff. Let's find out what your challenge is and see if we can do something that applies. If not, we'll both know. If one does, we can split it together and get you some help. More or less what I told you guys earlier.
Where do you get someone going back through
all
and
of these are just not
screenshotting?
out. What are these? So
It's,
you guys can be doing the
objections,
same,
yeah.
whether it's a live stream, whether it's a workshop, whether it's comments in here. Keep in mind, like with AI, how do you think I built Ceebz Spot? Lines of code. So this is what I mean. Like there's all these new things that will evolve and you guys are going to want to jump into. Don't get distracted by shiny objects. I literally quit my job at the car dealership 8 years ago because of AI. That's how terrified I was of what was coming and how big it was going to shift the entire business world. Like I saw the power of it then. 8 years later, it still hasn't replaced all our jobs. There's tools out there, but a lot of them are just gimmicks that don't really have cool practical applications. I promise you, you don't need an AI ad generator to generate 1,000 creatives to split test. You don't. Come up with 3 on your own. Learn how to actually generate a good creative and what might make those differences. Okay. So let's keep playing the long game. Whether you have yet to close your first deal, you feel like you're undercharging, whatever, like this is your squad to keep making moves forward. And we got you guys.
I want to real quick drop in a little bit of a homework for anybody that watched this. If you're fired up and you're watching this and you're like, dude, this is awesome. Don't let this freaking go to waste. Like cement the knowledge. My challenge for you is it's not even that high of stakes, but anything that stuck out to you here, like write it down for sure, but also record just a super quick video journal. Anytime I find this has been one of the most useful things for me over the years, talking about stuff, especially content strategy. Anything that comes up, if I'm listening to a podcast or watching a video, I will stop it as soon as it resonates. I'll pull up the camera on my phone and I'll aim for 60 seconds. I will just reiterate what I heard in my own words to try and make it make sense. Sometimes it becomes content that I post. Sometimes it's just I put it into an album on my phone, things for me to watch back, but it just forces you to talk about it. I recommend posting those out. If you can throw captions on them or whatever, it's great. But just do that and then post in the Facebook group by this time next week, one thing that you actually like took action on from this. Because if you just watched this and thought, hell yeah, and did nothing, you just wasted an hour and a half. So don't waste an hour and a half. Do something about it.
If you guys are like, man, I got to get on posting, and you're too afraid to drop something in the group, chances are you're probably not going to want to share it with the entire world publicly. So use the group the same way me and Dave did. We're in the nest. This is the comfort zone. Do whatever you want in here so that we can keep leveling up our skills. Drop your video messages that are awful. They're probably not as bad as you think, right? Worst case, you're going to get great advice on how to make them better. So that's all I got for today. Dave, any last notes, Dad?
I mean, we got plenty more of stuff. We're going to keep this kind of going as like a little bit of we got some plans for kind of having some recurring stuff here on these workshops to dive into different topics. But for right now, I think if we dive any more into this, we're going to lose people. So I'm good.
Good. Because you lost me. So what were you saying?
Case in point.
No one's safe. No one's safe.
Sweet.
All right, y'all. Awesome time. We will see you guys maybe next week at Thursday. I don't know. No, I got a flight that day. We'll figure it out. Savage Nation, let's go, baby. I'm super busy, guys. Like, I don't know. Peace, guys.
Peace.